Voting is more than just a right, it's a powerful tool for change. Every vote counts and every voice matters. Voting protects your rights and helps to build a better future. And it's a way to hold our leaders accountable. Voting isn't just about the big elections either. Local elections impact our daily lives. It is important to study the candidates and the issues in order to make an informed decision. Election 2024. Don't sit it out. Your vote is your power. PR Connections Radio presents.
Hi there. Welcome to Business of Giving Video Edition. I am your host for today's show, Dana Wall-Oakley. With me is my good friend, Jodi Lynn. And you see, we're both wearing pink today. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And Jodi is joining us as a breast cancer survivor. Jodi, hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, Dana. Thank you for having me.
How you doing today?
Good. Exhausted, but good.
Good, yes. Well, give us a little bit of your background. Tell us your story just a bit.
I found out that I had cancer 20 years ago. I was divorced after my divorce. I was working at Walmart in Phoenix, Arizona. It was right after we set everything up and we actually had the store up and running. It was at Halloween time, which is kind of funny, that I felt pain on my left side. And it was like having contractions. So for those that know about having kids and having contractions, you would have your pain. It would go away. 45 minutes later, it came back, and the pain kept getting sharper and shorter. Okay. So almost like until it was a really bad pain. I went to talk to the pharmacist. He gave me something, said, "Here, try this." It did not work. So I went back to him, and he said, "Well, just go ahead and get your refund on it."
Oh.
It had gotten to the point where it was so bad that I ended up going to the hospital, which was right around the corner from where I worked, telling them about the pain. And then at that time, it was a constant pain. From that day on, I was in pain probably for about 3 months. But they had me go back, see my doctor, go get the mammogram. Now, mind you, I was only 37 years old.
Wow.
This is before they don't even tell you to even start checking for that yet. So I was 37. Yeah. I went in and the funny thing, little backstory on that is I went to the hospital where I used to work. So when I went in for my mammy there, the lady knew me. And, they're not supposed to say what's going on with it. Okay, we'll just, here, the results are done. We're going to show the doctor. The doctor will talk to you if there's anything wrong. But by the way she said it and the look on her face, I knew something was up. And so we went to my doctor. I had to get the referral. And test later came back that, there's a lump there. Ooh. And I felt it on the side. All my life, I had Paget's disease, which is an inverted nipple.
Oh.
And that is a sign of cancer, or can be a sign of cancer. Wow. Which is, so having that all my life, so kind of sort of had cancer the whole time. Went in, they did all their tests, they did the biopsy, said, yes, it is definitely cancer. The test and everything that I had to go through before the removal of my surgery of my mastectomy, of having them both removed. It wasn't in the second one, but we did it on the precaution.
Okay.
In case. You never know.
Right, exactly.
The pre-testing, which you have to do before you go in for the surgery, I do not wish on anybody. With some of the things that they did, they had to remind me to breathe. It was so painful, and it took longer than normal because it hurt.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was sticking a needle inside the nipple.
Oh, ouch. Yikes.
That was no fun.
No.
But no more on that. But they did go in. They did go in and remove it all. They got
Okay.
everything.
Good.
I ended up having reconstructive surgery,
Okay.
implants done, and then I had my chemo, which is a lot
Oh,
different than how they do it now.
okay.
I had 8 treatments of really harsh chemo, which put me into early menopause,
Okay.
and I have a heart condition now. I had heart failure.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, I had heart failure during it. My oncologist did not agree that it was heart failure, but yet I was seeing a cardiologist,
Okay.
an oncologist that did not believe in a lot of the things I was telling them.
Oh, that's unusual.
Yeah, it really, I was getting really, really sick through the chemo. I stopped taking my chemo, my anti-nausea pills, because they make me sick.
They made you sick.
It made me worse than the chemo.
Kind of a weird thing. The anti-nausea
Yeah.
pills making you more sick.
It gave me the dry heaves
Oh, goodness.
so bad that I almost wanted to die, because
Oh.
that's how painful. I mean, I'm like, no, I'm quitting them. Told the doctor I was going to quit them. He goes, no, don't quit them. Keep taking them. I'm like, okay. So I told the doctor the whole time through the rest of my chemo that I was still taking my pills, even though I wasn't.
Oh.
Listen to your body.
Okay.
You
Okay,
know, it's one thing you need to do is listen to your body. It will tell you what's what. That's how, with the pain, finding out I had the cancer, the chemo. I went through all of that. I was going through the American Cancer Society, helped me a little bit through
Good.
some of it. I was able to get a little bit of funds from them to help out. They gave me transportation money. It wasn't much. It was $200.
Okay.
But it was nice.
And it helped you get to your appointments, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it did. Actually, I spent it on some other things because at the time I had a boyfriend at the time. We just started seeing each other.
Okay. And what a thing for him to go through.
Yeah. Well, he stuck it out. We went through everything. His mom and dad drove from Mesa to Phoenix in the morning to pick me up and take me to my treatments.
Oh, wonderful.
So it was nice. And this is everything before him and I got married. We eventually got married, and I helped him through some of his massive medical issues also, which was nice. But they took me to my treatments all the time.
Nice.
And it was nice. I was going every few months. The doctor said they were clear. Everything was nice. Good. You have to have the bone test every so often. You have to have your scans, which everything was good.
Okay.
They did see a black spot on my hip, which they didn't seem too worried about.
Good.
And there was another black spot they saw. And then they saw something up on my thyroid. So I ended up having a test on my thyroid to make sure I didn't have thyroid cancer or anything.
Cross fingers.
Yeah. And it was good. It came back clear. And
Excellent.
I had a fun, sounds funny, but I had a fun experience with that. When I went in for the test, of course, you have to lay there with your neck stiff. You cannot move and you can barely breathe.
Don't move, don't breathe. Yes, the scan's not fun.
It's sticking needles in your throat.
Oh,
your thyroid on both sides.
Ouch.
And then the funny thing is afterwards they put 2 little Band-Aids on, and the guy that did the test, the nurse, he's like, all right, don't take your Band-Aids off, especially while you're drinking, because you don't want your drink to come out. I will never forget that. That was the funniest thing.
That's hysterical. What a way to make you feel better.
Exactly.
Humor is always the best way to get through things like that.
Exactly.
Support system. How wonderful that you had a great support system at the time that you were going through something so was traumatic, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep. And it will be 20 years, December 22nd.
Wow. Right before your birthday.
Yes. 5 days. So I was 37.
Yes.
when I had them removed.
Okay.
I go by the date not by the date I was diagnosed. I go by the date it was removed.
Removed. Okay.
Yeah, because the way I see it, and everybody has their own feeling on it, the
Right.
day that they remove it is the day you start your surviving it. Because if it's still in you and you're not doing treatments or anything, then you're not doing anything. You're not really surviving. You're just coping with it until then.
Oh, I understand. I never really understood that before. If I could interject, I also went through a similar situation with cancer myself, and I never really associated the removal of it as starting over, starting fresh.
Mhm.
I often forget because it was such an easy
Yeah.
process for me that I did have cancer.
Yeah.
And I will be, so it was 2013, which means that I'm at 11 years. It'll be 12 years come March
Yeah.
that I'm a cancer survivor, but it wasn't breast cancer.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was not an easy process. I had chemo and I had radiation. Did you also have radiation or just chemo?
Just chemo.
It was bad enough.
I know. Yeah, I lost my hair, which is why there's times that I'd love to go bald. You've seen me with it gone bald.
It's really short.
And now I've got really short hair on the sides. It's not due to anything. It's just because in support of the cancer, and I get tired of long hair, so I want it short.
It's great that you bring that up, support. So you had a really great support system.
Yes.
What do you do now these days to perhaps support other breast cancer, either survivors or people that are going through it right now? A myth is that men cannot get breast cancer. Guess what? Yes, they can.
Yes, they can.
So this is for women and men. It is possible. So do you do anything these days to help the breast cancer awareness?
So for the past 10 years that I've been here in Vegas, I have hooked up with the American Cancer Society.
Wonderful.
1 year, I was their ambassador per se. I was going out and doing a lot of events for them to help bring awareness to breast cancer. I choose, and it's my own personal choice, the American Cancer Society over Susan G. Komen.
Okay.
Mainly because of things that I have researched, found out. They both are awesome. They both donate to cancer research. One thing I like about the American Cancer Society is, like today, they had their walk, and I went and I got my Survivor shirt. I even got me a little sash that says Survivor, which was fun. They have their own big booth for survivors. You sign in, you're able to win some free prizes. They give you breakfast. They have a nice big area where you can sit down and enjoy it with one person, which was my oldest went with me today. So Nikki and I both went.
Okay.
We were able to get something to eat, something to drink, and made not little banners, but like little fans and that have the pink ribbon on it. And I put 20 year on mine. So they do that. The Susan G. Komen, they charge their survivors to go. That's one of the things I don't like.
It helps raise money for the cancer support, right?
They're still trying to get money for the for the cancer research.
Yes.
But they're also charging their survivors. And I'm thinking a lot of these survivors are new. They are going through the chemo. They're going through their treatments. Some people can't afford the $25 to get in.
They're still going through it. Yes.
And they're still going through it. So the American Cancer Society, they don't charge. But you always get a shirt. And you never know if you're going to get a little ribbon or not. Then they have all the nice booths that are out there that are there to help support, which is great. And it's a good way for the other businesses to get their name out and let people know about them.
Yes.
And then they do their big long walk, which is what they're doing now, which I didn't stick around for. I wanted to make sure I came here and I wanted to do the interview. And the walk now it's like a 3-mile walk, and sometimes it can get tiring for me.
Okay.
So
it's interesting you say that. If I had thought about it a little bit, perhaps we could have done this interview on site and talked to some individuals that are there. Now, it's not just, so October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but you're talking to the American Cancer Society, which covers all kinds of cancers.
Yes.
So for Susan G. Coleman is just breast cancer, correct?
Right.
And there are other Cancer Awareness Month for different kinds of cancer.
Yes.
Are you, and then the pink is the breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Are there other colors for other cancers?
Yes. So let's see. So for October,
yes,
they also have, it's like a greenish color, dark green is liver cancer.
Ah, okay.
And a lighter green is mastectomy breast cancer.
Oh,
which is a breast cancer in the both.
Ah.
And that it leads to other parts. Some people, it has led to some people it's led to their brain, unfortunately, or to their blood, or to their bones. You know, it can spread.
Yes.
I am lucky that 20 years out, it hasn't spread.
Yes.
And and it can be genetic. Breast cancer can be genetic, but I found out that I am the only one in my family that has ever had breast cancer.
Wow. So you're hoping that it'll skip your children, your daughters, and your granddaughter.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. My oldest has had hers. She's 40. She did do her test.
Okay,
and hers just came back clear. So she's good, which is thankful.
Yes.
Next month, there is 5 different cancers that they try to do. They do honoring caregivers.
Okay. That's a good one.
They do honor the caregivers.
Yes, that support system that is so important, whether it's family or a nurse that you have come in.
Yes.
Or somebody who just helps you get to appointments. That support system is really important. I thank the goodness every day for my husband who got me through that as my huge support system, and my parents.
Yeah.
Huge support system.
That's why I had joined when I joined the American Cancer Society, I did their Road to Recovery, I believe it was, signed up, went through the whole class. That way, in case of anybody who had the same type of cancer as me, you know, if they needed someone to talk to, I was available. Well, they never called, nothing. I didn't hear anything on them.
Okay.
And it's not really a good thing. I just hope that people that do come down with cancer do have resources and people to talk to.
Yes.
But I do run into people at work the other day. I was talking to a lady that's been going through taking chemo. This is her going into her 3rd round.
Oh my.
12 weeks. They told her she's going to be on it for about a year. And she just started. So I told her, you know, I'm like, just to give you hope and to let you know there is a great chance you can survive.
Oh, yes.
I am a 20-year survivor. You know, we do know that a lot of people don't survive from it.
That's true.
And it also has to do with your mind and your attitude. You and I are both strong people.
Oh, yes.
You know, and nothing's going to knock us down. I was 37, going on 38. My oldest was already out of high school. My first granddaughter was only like 6-7 months old.
Okay.
My youngest was still in junior high.
Yes.
So I was young, and that gave me more power to push on. And
that does help, but there are older people. I have a friend who's going through a type of cancer right now who's in his 80s.
Yeah.
And yet he's still strong. He's going through the chemo.
Yeah.
He has his attitude of gratitude.
Yes.
When you face life in a positive frame of mind, you can remain positive and get through it. Never once did I think I'm not getting through this. Never once.
That's positive.
It was basically just, what do I do? How do I do it? Let's move on with life. Right?
Exactly.
And I forget cancer because I faced it with that attitude that you know, this is just something I need to get through.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
and having that support system too helps, because when you are down, when you have your support, like I had my girls. I had, at the time, was my boyfriend who became my husband. I had him. So I had a great support system.
Yes.
You know, it was tough. I did eventually go back to work afterwards, after the treatments and everything. And some people, I had a lady that worked in my department who could not look at me because I had cancer. And I was going through it.
Some people have a hard time with that, don't they?
Yeah, some people have a hard time.
So that leads to awareness then. So if perhaps she was aware or more aware, she wouldn't be so uncomfortable. So how do you get the word out? I did a little bit of Googling and I found a website, nationalbreastcancer.org, that has fabulous resources that explain about breast cancer, what it is, early detection, how do you find it, you get diagnosis, some of the myths. If people were more aware, they would be less uncomfortable, don't you feel?
That, and if the doctors and our insurance mainly would allow women to start getting examined at the age of at least 30, you know that there are even nowadays girls that are like 13 years old being diagnosed with breast cancer.
Oh my, I was not.
Yeah, they are getting younger and younger.
Wow.
All the time. And it's sad.
Is this because we have better processes for detecting, or because of some sort of societal thing that more people are getting cancer?
That's a good question. I just randomly heard about it one day that a 13-year-old had breast cancer.
Okay.
It's hard to say what's causing it. Now, with our foods nowadays, it could be the area that they grew up in, because I lived in Maryville and Phoenix, in the Maryville area. And it's a known fact that the properties and the land in that area give people cancer.
Whoa.
You're able to come down with cancer. Both my mom and my dad both had cancer. We lived there for a long time. Some people had leukemia, a whole bunch of different immune diseases.
You also said that it was genetic.
It can't. Yes.
So if it runs in a family, it's likely to continue to run in a family. Perhaps somebody as young as 13, it's genetic.
Could be. Now, I said, with me saying my mom had cancer. Now, mind you, I was adopted.
Oh, okay.
And I did find my birth mom, and that's how I know that there was no breast cancer in my family.
Okay.
But my birth aunt did pass away of cancer. She had lung cancer, beat it. 4 years later, came down with bone cancer and was gone within a few weeks.
Oh my, that's rough. So sorry.
It's kind of scary when you hear you've got cancer, and then you wonder for the rest, after it's cleared, you wonder for the rest of your life, knowing, am I going to get it again?
Will it come back?
That's pushed on my back burner.
Yes.
And I don't worry about it because I've got my daughters, I've got my grandkids, I've got other things to worry about.
Okay.
I just make sure I keep checking myself, and that's all people can do to make sure to keep aware of. Check your body, check the girls all the time, both men and women. Yes, it is less likely in men, but men are getting it, and it's starting to get more and more men are.
Yes.
Which is when I heard that the first time, I'm like, you're kidding me. No way. Wow. But I actually have met a few men that actually had breast cancer.
And it's not just because they have larger breasts. It's just because it's also possible in men.
Exactly.
Wow. Do you have... So the resources for the American Cancer Society, do you still use those? Do you help people? Is there a website that you're aware of that maybe has some resources like this one I found for nationalbreastcancer.org?
AmericanCancerSociety.org.
Okay, so AmericanCancerSociety.org for any type of cancer. Early detection is the best possible route for anybody that may get cancer. I know mine was caught fairly early. I myself was only 42 when I had surgery to the cancer, and it has stayed gone. So early detection is the best. Having a great support system to get you through that. And if you don't have personal, you can go to these resources and reach out. If you need help, please get it. Exactly. Any final words you'd like to impart upon our audience today? Cancer survivor Jodi Lynn.
Just keep checking on those girls. Make sure they're always safe, not just for you, for everybody. Spread the word about it. And make sure if you do come down with it, you have a great support system via your doctors, the caregivers, your family. And if you don't have them, at least have a friend. That's why I'm so grateful for you, Dana. I always have you, and I know that. Yes. So if I ever have any issues with anything, I've got you and your husband, Jesse, who are my brother and sister.
Oh, yes.
So it's just make sure you have support at anything, and not even just with cancer, with anything you're going through. Support is the best thing for you.
I agree. Also having something that keeps you in that attitude of gratitude. Have a hobby, have something that keeps you occupied, that you enjoy, that you focus on, rather than focusing on something negative or oh my God, I have cancer. Rather than panicking and freaking out. Focus on something else, right? You and I, we've had Toastmasters for many years, and that has been a steady. Go to meetings, get through it, learn these skills, communicate. It really has helped. It really has helped. Waking up every single day alive is always the first thing to be grateful for. And getting through each day with wonderful friends.
Exactly.
Jodi, thank you so much for being my guest for the show today. October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Be aware. Be prepared. Learn how to do the self-exam, or if you're concerned about anything, go and see your doctor. Don't end up finding out too late, and then tragedy. We don't want that to happen for anybody. So be aware. Tune in to the Business of Giving podcasts on the 2nd and 4th Saturdays at 3 p.m. Thank you again, Jodi. That is our show today. Have a fabulous, fabulous day.
Voting is more than just a right, it's a powerful tool for change. Every vote counts and every voice matters. Voting protects your rights and helps to build a better future. And it's a way to hold our leaders accountable. Voting isn't just about the big elections either. Local elections impact our daily lives. It is important to study the candidates and the issues in order to make an informed decision. Election 2024. Don't sit it out. Your vote is your power. PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.